Greetings, fellow space nerds, humans of Earth, and beyond. I'm Cornelius, back again with more Starfield shipbuilding. I've got build number 124 today, the ONYX CINDER, hero ship of the latest Star Wars TV series, Star Wars Skeleton Crew. This bird has been long in the making. I've had this ship at about 95% complete for quite some time, but I put it to the side until the new Falkland Systems mod came out, and I am quite happy that I did. So this will be a bit of a Falkland Systems showcase as well, since I was able to use quite a few of those habs. Now, Falkland Systems is a paid mod. It's 500 Microsoft points. It is mostly habs that are decorated very Star Wars-esque with some Mass Effect influences as well. They are superbly done. And there are some also structural bits, some new weapons, and a new ship that you can purchase. I highly recommend looking into it. There are two versions of this ship in the show. Frankly, I didn't know there was going to be a second version of this ship when I started building this one, but this one is my favorite. My main and really only gripe is those rear engines and wings are not able to gimbal like they do in the show. Unfortunately, that is just not possible yet. But this bird is awesome. Let's check her out. Surprisingly, the proportions of this ship are quite similar to the ship in the show. This bird is maybe just a touch larger than the in-game version. I so wish there was a way to get those rear engines and wings to rotate like we can with these Firefly engines up front. But I tried merging a bunch of those Class C engines back there to get at least a similar profile to the Firefly engines up front, and I think I got about as close as as I possibly could. These wings are 100% comprised of Matilija armor plates. It starts with a 4 stack that blends down to a 2 stack. Those were a bit difficult to figure out, and we'll cover that in the build. but I am quite happy with the overall profile on this big old girl, and the interior, which we're about to get into, is, I definitely think, one of my favorites to date. And unfortunately, you can see that some of these turrets are whacked out, but that is just a, call it a Starfield feature. There's your little grappling hook up in the bow. Alright, let's give this interior a go. This Falkland Systems mod is awesome. So we enter into the Falkland 2x1 engineering hab. I did not customize the Falkland habs very much at all on purpose, because I wanted to show off how awesome they are stock, if you would. So I'll chime in on the areas that I did customize, but they are few and far between for these habs. We now make our way into a Hopetech 1x1 Crimson Fleet storage hab, mainly for the cargo and the vibes. This is supposed to be a pirate ship, but I've got some defensive turrets in here. And up the ladder we go. Now this is the first of two 3x3 cargo holds. This first one is a Nova 3x3 cargo hold, pre-furnished, because they do quite a good job. I added some stuff, as you can see, some more defensive turrets, and I did scatter quite a few cred tanks around, because that does go along with the theme of the ship. And here's the second 3x3. This is the Hopetech, also pre-decorated quite well. Same difference in here, I just added a little bit of stuff here and there, some cargo nets in the ceiling, more cred tanks, and some screens here and there. And now we'll make our way into the first Falkland Systems habs. This is the 1x1 walkthrough. And this is the 2x2 crew quarters. Fantastically done. I did decorate some of these bathrooms. They do come empty. And I decorated one area in here in the galley. We've got a little sitting room, and then we enter into the main cooking area. I did add some of these decorations. If you can use place storage yourself, I highly recommend it. It definitely makes life easier. And here's the 2x1 Falkland hydroponics hab. Beautiful. Completely, I mean, look at this. Alright, and we head up to our engineering deck. The only way to get up here is through these stairs. This is another 2x1 Falkland engineering hab. And here's our first of many interior windows. This is a view for our grab drive. And here is another version of a Falkland crosshab. And we are into the 1x1 engine room. Now, because of the ladder there, that engine doesn't come all the way out. And now we are back in the 2x2 crew area. And in this corner of the hab, you've got a armory area. The only thing I added in here was just some rifles on the weapon mounts and some packs in here. The ammo boxes come with the hab. The hangers come with the hab. Like I've been saying, these habs are wonderfully done. And as we make our way out, here's a sitting area and one of these cool features. You can open your own blinds. Alright, that is the first crew area and engineering. We'll now make our way to the lift. Now, we are on the 3rd floor. There are 2 bays in this ship. We came in the front bay, but we'll go down a couple floors to check that out. Now here on the 2nd floor is just storage and our brig. This is a Matilija pass-through again, and then the G-Tech 1x1 brig. That, of course, I customized a little bit. I'll go down to the 1st floor, which is where you would enter if you entered the ship through the rear ramp, right there. Now we're heading back up to the 4th floor. This is our main deck. Here's our 2nd interior window. That's also where our Matilija gas tanks are. Shield booster. Over here is another window into the grab drive room. And moving forward from the lift, we have a Hopetech 2x2 control room that I added some stuff here and there. But these are rather well done from, I guess you could say, factory. Here's our grav drive control area. And another Matilda shield booster. This ship has 5 in total, because why not? Tak Rennod would have spent the money. We're now making our way into the primary living quarters. This is 2 Falkland 2x1 crew bunks. They each have a bathroom and a whole bunch of beds. We've got 4 beds back here and more as we make our way forward. These habs are just so well executed. Fantastic. Here's another 1x1 pass-through, and the piece de resistance, the Falkland 2x3 crew quarters. This one has everything. It's awesome. Here's the first internal window. And then we make our way to a small hallway with a restroom. Definitely feels like Star Wars now. This center area of the hab is fantastic. I mean, there's nothing like this in the game. And moving up here, we have another restroom. And if this was the only hab in your ship, you could call this room, or you could use this room as a captain's berth. And there's another window for another Matilda shield booster. And here's the main galley. I did not add anything here. Don't need to. There's another internal window. And now we'll make our way through this little hallway. And on the right, we have a small hydroponics lab. With, of course, stuff that you can pick and actually use. And another interior window. And back here, we have a small armory area that I've attached a 1x1 Falkland medbay to. And the last bit of this hab is a small secondary medbay. Well, it'd be the primary medbay if the only hab you had is this 2x3. But absolutely incredible. These habs, kind of needless to say, will feature rather heavily in my future builds. Back to the lift and up to level 5. Now up here we have our captain's quarters. Here we have a 1x1 passway from Falkland. And here we have a 1x1 armory from Falkland. All I did was add some gear. And here we have the 2x1 Falkland Captain's Quarters. Which, I mean, I know I've been saying it, but these habs are fantastic. And here we have our captain's fish tank. This mod is completely worth $5. Easy day. You have a work area, sitting area. There's a safe down there too. And then here's the sleeping quarters. Another interior window for another Matilda shield booster. And the restroom. All I did was add some stuff here and there because, like I said, all of the restrooms in all of these habs do come empty. Back out to the lift, and over here, this is the Varun interrogation room. I figure it is quite fitting for Tak Rennod and his crew. Fits the aesthetic well, I think. And then on the other side of the lift, we have a Hopetech Crimson Fleet 1x1 armory with some interior defenses, because this is where our docker is. I'm using the Tiger Shipyard's extended docker, so that's how it fits. Alright, up to level 6, the bridge. Got a bit more storage in here around the lift, because why not? And here we enter the Falkland 1x1, or the 1x1 control room. And now the bridge. This is a redecoration of the the Stroud Viking Bridge. This is the Kestrel 300 from Falkland. I think it's a much more efficient use of the space, and of course aesthetically, it's fantastic. I cannot sing the praises of this mod enough. If you like shipbuilding, if you want a little bit more role-playing / immersion, $5 will get you pretty much there. Alright, let's build this beast. Step 1, walkable spaces. This is going to be our bridge, our docker, our bay, all of our habs, and the lift. As you can tell, this is the chunkiest hab list I've done in quite some time. That's why this is the longest video I've done ever. But if you follow along, I really tried to make this as easy to do as possible. You'll also notice that some of the colors are different because I tried to lighten them up so it was easier to follow. But there's nothing super complex here. Just follow the order, and I'll see you in step 2. Step 2. This is going to be our gear setup with our underbelly structural bits. You've also got the bulk of our cargo bays and a couple of our turrets. And of course, with most of my builds, there's going to be a bunch of armor plates and a bunch of trim pieces. Now this gear is not a difficult merge, but there is a Nova mini bracer in here. That's how I got this gear to be in this position, and that's how we attach it to the actual ship. So we get what we get. So what's actually attaching to the ship here is not the gear, it's the mini bracer. The hidden mini bracer is the attachment point. I was trying to get as close to the 4 main gear of the original as possible, and this setup made the most sense for me. Since there are so many possible attachment points on the build, we've got to take our time a little bit just to make sure everything lines up like so. I definitely ran out of patience a few times trying to get this right. And you will see that almost all of the turrets, both varieties, are mounted with some type of riser, either the Hope version or these Nova mini bracers, in order to get the barrels out from the Trinity underbelly parts. I actually goofed here a little bit because that is actually supposed to be one further behind it, which you'll see in the next step. But you could put it there. There's no reason why you couldn't. Step 3, the bow. Some decent merging going on up here, but really not terribly difficult. This is all decorative reactors and decorative cargo to get this shape. In the show, that front actuator or front claw just barely sticks out, so I had to set this merge up in such a way, since that Avon-Tech claw is so long, but that's why it's offset like that, and it's merged so far to the rear. Step 4, our front engines and our side armor. The only possible issue you might run into here is the lining up of everything, because there's so many possible attachment points, specifically with the armor plate. But if you orient them all together like they are here before you attach them to the ship, you should avoid that. You see, since they're all already connected, each armor plate and each trim piece, adding them all as one piece to the main ship is easier. I wish I would have done that first instead of one by one. Alright, step 5. These are our top structural bits, along with more turrets. Now, right here, I realized I made a mistake, so just pause. So we're gonna cut back to here. This row of armor plate should have gone. Get it right. Yeah, right there. These mistakes are easy to do, especially with the bigger builds. And now we'll essentially jump back right to where we were. Make sure everything's lined up. There you go. Alright, step 6. This is the stern area, as well as our main fuel room and our reactor. This is also where we're going to set up the attachment point for our rear engines and the wings. Now in this rear room, we've got 4 Matilda fuel cells, one on the top of each corner over here, and we've got 3 Matilda armor pieces in the middle and another Matilda shield booster. Now I chose to merge the reactor in the back here just so I had the ability to open up the rear portion of the ship for that 2x2 Falkland living quarters hab. Because like I said, I really wanted to showcase that hab as best I could. It is a mostly Star Wars inspired hab. This is a Star Wars ship. It only seems fitting. Now these Nova cowlings are the attachment point for our wings and our rear engines. So you'll see here in the next step, the wings are a bit complex, but they attach to these Nova cowlings, and as long as you follow along, you'll get it. Alright, the last step. This is going to be our wings and our rear engines. Now I've left one side of the ship intact for reference to help you and to help me. I've left one of these engines over here intact as well, since all four of them are essentially identical. But here's our intact wing setup, just in case you need to check back. So, trying to figure out how I was going to put these rear engines together, I really wanted to make them as similar as possible to the Firefly rotating engines up front. I didn't quite get to, let's say, as close as I would have preferred, but this is where my imagination left me. So we've got some Deimos spines. Now you could use really any part you want. I use these decorative shields as my front attachment point, and then we just merge some Nova mini bracers in behind, and we're going to use all of these attachment points to get the engine to these decorative engines to melt. Now these are inverse Tayo braking engines, 2 of them. Here I am forgetting, which is okay, because I left myself a reference. So let's get these engines on first. Now, that Hope downpipe on the top engines, and then there is a flipped up one on the bottom engines, but that is essentially what connects each of the engines to the wings. And here I am figuring out where that goes to. Alright, we've assembled our engines. Now these are attaching to each other via the Nova mini bracers that are hidden in there. Now, I also merged in 4 of these decorative shields to give this more of a rounded look that is purely aesthetic. You do not need to do this if it doesn't suit your fancy, but I just wanted more of a rounded look because I feel like that looks more similar to the original. Alright, so like I said earlier, our wing merge starts with these Nova cowlings. So I have a top plate and I have a bottom plate. So the way the merge is going to work, the top plate is going to attach to the bottom Nova cowling, and the bottom plate is going to attach to the top Nova cowling. When you do this, you get a symmetrical two-ship, if you would, of armor plates, and each of their attachment points remain. So that's how I got the merge to, well, be symmetrical and to be out of the center, if you would, of the Nova cowlings. So as long as we set this up in this order, everything will be copacetic. So our wings are 4 individual sheets of armor plates and some trim pieces, as well as the Matilija wing pieces. Now the same deal is going to work here with the top and bottom plates. The bottom plate here is connecting to the bottom of the Hopetech riser, and the top plate here is connecting to the top of the other Hopetech riser, which will give us a symmetrical merge right down the middle, which is what my monkey brain wants. And this sheet here is all top plates. Which of course will attach to those bottom plates. Like so. And this sheet of bottom plates will attach to the top plates. And now we have a 4-to-2 symmetrical wing setup. Now everything is going to slot right into those first two armor plates, which is why that setup right there is critical to making this work. And congratulations. You are now the new captain of the ONYX CINDER. Let's take her for a combat tour. If you made it this far, I can't thank you enough. This was by far my longest video, so if you've sunk this much of your personal time into a creation of mine, well, hot damn, that's awesome. Thank you again. This was a hell of a build. I'm very happy that I waited for the Falkland Systems mod, as I hope you could see, it is fantastic. What an awesome mod. I couldn't recommend it enough. Easily worth the $5 it costs. I do wish there was a way that I could have got the rear engines and wings to rotate and gimbal like the front ones. That is the really only downside that I had building this ship. I hope you enjoyed this one. I have quite a few builds in the builder. I've got to post at least 5 or 6 more before I can hit the Unity and reset my game. So stay tuned. I definitely have a couple more Star Wars builds. A little tribute that is Star Citizen related, and some original builds. If you haven't been a fan of Disney Star Wars as of late, the Skeleton Crew was actually pretty refreshing, considering it was a new story in a new part of the timeline and galaxy that really hasn't been covered yet. Give it a shot if you are a Star Wars fan. I was pleasantly surprised. It was a pretty good show. Thank you all so very much for the views, likes, comments, subs. We are almost to that 1K goal, and I could not be happier. This was a fun one. I'm Cornelius. You can find me in the Star Yard.